Lesson 2, Unit 6. The project proposal. Once the design of the project is finished, the next step is to complete the project proposal. This is the document used to secure grant funds from institutional, government, or private donors. The proposal provides enough information to convince donors that the organization has the capacity, experience, knowledge, and resources that will make a successful project. In most cases, a proposal is used when the organization is responding to a request for proposal from a donor, the RFP. This is also called a call for proposal that requires a selective process to choose the organization on a competitive basis. The decision to participate and develop a proposal comes after the project concept or concept note has been approved by the organization or the donor. The steps of this process usually include the following: the publication of the solicitation with specific instructions to submit the proposal, including due dates, evaluation of the proposals, which includes the experience, capability, economic, and technical approach of the proposal, and the negotiation of the proposal, including contractual terms, and finally, the notification of the award to the selected organization. A competitive process that requires careful planning. When responding to a request from a donor, the proposal needs to follow a specific format or structure. The success of the proposal depends in large on how the organization is able to meet those requirements. Here's a list of the recommendations to successfully respond to a competitive proposal. Understand the solicitation and the scope of the work. Review the evaluation criteria for the economic and technical approach. Check deadlines and dates to submit questions and the proposal, and follow the instructions, especially in the content that is required in the proposal. Ask questions. This is an important element of the process that will help clarify any doubts about the solicitation. Here are some additional important questions to ask when the organization wants to respond to a solicitation and develop a proposal. Some of them are similar to the questions in the project concept, but are more tactical in nature. Do we have the time to meet the deadlines? Do we have people with experience in writing proposals for this type of donor? Do we understand the proposal guidelines? Can we meet the requirements? The answer to those questions will help the organization plan for the development of the proposal. Depending on the type of donor, the proposal will have different formats. Some donor agencies are very strict in regards to the format and the scope of the proposal. That is why it's important that the team assigned with the task to develop the proposal is familiar with the format and has done a similar proposal for the same donor. The content of a project proposal will have these sections most of the time: an executive summary, the statement of need, the project objectives, a results matrix, the project approach, a schedule, a team, the budget, the organization support, monitoring and evaluation, and sustainability. Depending on the nature of the proposal, the format might require additional information such as the inclusion of cross-cutting themes such as gender. The executive summary briefly presents the essence of the project by stating what is current situation, what the proposed solution, or how the organization will address the problem. The expected impact identifies the main beneficiaries, the duration, and the overall cost of the project. This section not only summarizes the proposal, but also presents what is specifically unique about the proposal and why the organization is the correct choice to implement the project. These 2 points help drive the message to the donor about the strengths of the organization and sets the tone for the rest of the document. This section is usually written once all the other sections have been completed, since it takes the important points from the proposal to use in the summary. This section should be no longer than 3,000 words. The statement of need is the description of the problem and the main reason why the project is needed. This is an important section. It gives a detailed explanation about the problem or problems addressed by the project. It explains the background and the root causes of the problem, and includes evidence of the effects of the problem in the target population. It also includes the factors that led to the problem and any other type of information or references that support the case for the project. This section includes the arguments why the organization has the experience and how the proposed project is aligned to the long-term strategies of the organization and the donor. This section describes the objectives of the project. It describes the solution the organization has identified that will solve the problem described in the previous section. It's important here to have well-written goal statements that are directly related to the main problem. The project goal is the long-term objectives that the project will contribute to achieve. The proposal can include a summary of the project objectives. This includes the identification of key indicators, their current values, and the expected results for each one of the proposed project periods. The schedule identifies the principal activities and the milestones with estimated duration and end dates, including internal and external dependencies. The proposal schedule identifies a high-level duration of the project, which is used to estimate the total budget. In this section, the proposal can include a simple Gantt chart that would list all key activities in a bar graph. Each bar represents the estimated duration for each activity, including the estimated start and end dates. This section is a brief description of the core team, their professional experience and education, including previous achievements and work on similar projects. The professional experience of the key personnel assigned to the project is an important element in the evaluation of a proposal. The proposal may include a basic diagram of the organizational chart describing the people that will be assigned to the project. The budget will provide an outline of all the project costs and expenses. It must follow guidelines on the items the donor will not fund and identify additional funds that the organization may contribute to this project, such as contributions in kind. This section should follow the donor's budget format. That means using the donor account codes instead of the organization account codes. The budget should also differentiate between direct costs and indirect costs. Direct costs are those costs directly related to the project activities. Indirect costs are those related to the general overhead and administrative support to the project. The next section includes information about the organization. It is a summary of past and former projects and accomplishments. It also describes the resources available to support this project. These include the administrative, logistic, technology, and additional expertise. The focus of this section is to advertise the capacity, experience, and resources of the organization to make the project successful. In this section, the document will include the monitoring and evaluation plan. It includes the methods for reporting project results, the key indicators to measure the performance of the project, and proposed types of evaluations such as formative and summative evaluations. Most donors now require a section that describes the sustainability strategy for the projects. This includes an approach that will sustain the impact of the project to the group of beneficiaries after the project has been completed. The section can also add an exit strategy and how the project will manage the transfer of knowledge to partners or other groups involved in the project. Here are some best practices to take in consideration when developing a project proposal. Research the donor. Get to know as much as you can. Understand the donor terms of reference. Follow the guidelines and don't include information that is not requested. Before submitting the proposal, do a complete proofread and follow the formats. If possible, do a peer review. Ask a colleague or someone who has done a similar proposal to review it before submitting the proposal to the donor. Here are some characteristics of good proposals. They are complete and follow the donor's format and guidelines. There is a clear link between problems and objectives. It is well organized and structured. It is results focused. It shows commitment from the organization. There is coherence between the narrative and the budget, and it's clearly written. Developing a project proposal has many challenges. Understanding what they are can help manage this process and avoid those challenges. Confusing formats. Each donor has a different format and takes time to really understand what the donor is actually asking. Planning problems. Not having a detailed plan with clear roles and responsibilities. Lack of experienced writers. People with little experience are appointed to develop the proposal or are given little support. Tight deadlines. Lack of managing the proposal with a schedule and milestones. Here's a funny cartoon. A couple of donors talking about thousands of excellent proposals but complain that no one uses their improved format. When an NGO sees the proposal format from the donor, it can be very complex and intimidating. This drives the need to spend the time and effort to understand the format, and that will increase the chances that the proposal is going to be accepted.